That is what happens when you aren't able to forgive someone or something in your life. You could literally go crazy. I mean, I read a lot of books to curate Fishing for Happiness, my latest book, and a lot of these, I mean, there are doctors and psychiatrists who've dedicated their lives like to studying the minds and our bodies. And I mean, people have actually become like truly depressed, suffering from severe anxiety attacks. I mean, literally just going crazy, all because they can't forgive someone or something or someone that did something wrong to them in the past. I mean, when you harbor that kind of feeling, the anger and the hatred and, just resentment of someone or something, it literally can make you go crazy. And here was a big aha moment for me on that. And I don't remember where I read this, but it really struck a chord with me. And it was talking about forgiveness. And it said forgiveness doesn't mean you just let someone off the hook. And for example, if someone was to hurt one of your family members or your loved ones, it doesn't mean if you forgave that bad person that all of a sudden they weren't guilty of it. That you still couldn't go testify in court, and that you still couldn't see them go to jail potentially for whatever the wrongdoing they did. It just means that you're able to let that anger go and to forgive that person and to move on more spiritually and psychologically so that you can grow. I mean, it's impossible to have true like inner peace, and it's impossible to really be happy if you can't forgive. I mean, if you have anger, think about this. Your mind can't be angry and happy at the same time. It can. That's why a lot of studies talk about writing down every morning, a few things that you're grateful for. And in a future episode, we're going to do that. We're going to have a little 5-day challenge. Because I've been doing that usually every single morning, and it's amazing what changes in my life and how my mindset changes, because your mind really can only focus at one thing at a time. It's been proven that you can't actually multitask. When you're multitasking, your brain is stopping and starting on different things every time. It's not literally doing the same multiple things at the same time. And so knowing that, and that's been proven, that you can't be happy and fulfilled and loving if you are angry at the same time. And I went through this for a while. There was someone that I felt did me wrong, and probably if it went to court, it would have probably been proven they did me wrong. And I didn't get over it for a long time, and I harbored this just anger, and I wasn't very forgiving. And I couldn't sleep at night. I mean, have you ever had that before? Where like you're rolling around in bed and you're so mad at that person or that situation that you can't even sleep? And I mean, think about how that affects you the next day. Maybe it affects your relationship with your spouse or your kids or your other coworkers, etc. I mean, it's just a compounding effect of just negativity that you don't need. And it's proof that, I mean, your just body and mind can't move on. You can't have true peace and you can't have true happiness and fulfillment if you aren't forgiving, if you are angry with someone. And I talk about it in the book too. I mean, if you can think of anyone, I mean, think about some of the greatest spiritual leaders of all time, like, Jesus and people like, Gandhi that were obviously very forgiving people. I mean, Buddha, I mean, all these people didn't harbor a lot of anger and resentment. They were very easy to forgive and to move on. Once again, doesn't mean that that person who did you wrong is not guilty. It just means that you can now move on and get some more peace in your own life. This is really, really powerful stuff. And it's really the only way that you can grow as a person is to be happy and to be grateful and just to forgive and move on. And there have been some studies too that, talk about when you have two people and one is angry at the other, that person that usually is angry, I mean, they're almost empowering that other person. I mean, the person who forgives first honestly can move on and can really go on to hit new highs and to really do some neat things in their life. I mean, I've seen it time and time again when I see two friends who used to be married and have that hatred towards each other, and it's usually the first one to forgive is the one that ends up attracting love back into life. Haven't you seen that before, where someone gets divorced, or maybe it was you, and whoever of the spouse that actually forgives the other first and just kind of moves on, it's almost always that person that finds love again and just finds more happiness and fulfillment in their lives. So I urge you to forgive if there's something that's been bugging you, forgive that person. And you know what? It not only does it feel amazing, if that other person, if you guys are both still hating each other, or there's multiple people involved and there's multi parties and there's still hatred there, I mean, just shooting that person an email or a text or even calling them if you have the I guess the courage to call them, right? I don't want to say something else, but if you can even call them, send them a text or an email, and just tell them you forgive them. You know what? Or tell them you love them. I mean, talk about a mind shift. Now you got all of this weight off your shoulders, and they're going to be a little bit messed up in the head. If they haven't forgiven you, they're going to be like, whoa, what the heck just happened? And you're not doing it to screw with their mind. You truly are doing it to move on. And in most cases, that person will be able to move on. It makes you a better person by being the person or the group or the entity, whatever, how many people are involved, that just took the higher path and forgave and was able to move on. I promise you, your life will be better. You'll probably sleep better. As I mentioned, there's been cases of people having like severe crazy anxiety attacks, severe depression, and even ending up in mental institutes and like loony bins for people that just never forgave, where it literally was just taking over their mind. And that's horrible, horrible stuff to have in your mind and, of course, in your body. So that's it. Getting close to 7 minutes here. We're actually going to end this one on time, if you can believe it. Joe Simonds, Like Diamonds Show. Stay tuned for another awesome episode. And leave me comments. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Yesterday was a really popular one. If you didn't see it, it was, when you should quit your job, and when's the right moment to quit your job and to pursue a new calling or start your own company. So these things have been all over the place, and really based on all the different types of books that I read in my pursuit to create Fishing for Happiness, the ultimate cheat sheet to achieving happiness and fulfillment. So pick up a copy on Amazon if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the awesome reviews for Fishing for Happiness. It's been really, really cool to see that, and it's made it all worthwhile. That's it. I'm out of here.